This has been a really enriching experience for us to work with the product and to meet you, to hear your backstory, to hear where it came from, how genuine it was. It was just, guys, there's a problem here. We have to spend some time and figure out how to fix it. And you did in a magnificent way.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Perez.
And I'm Wesley Long.
And we're bringing you a fresh new take on disaster preparedness.
Welcome to DisasterClass.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of DisasterClass Podcast. I'm Jason Perez.
And I'm Wesley Long.
And Wesley, you know what the bell means.
I love it, man.
Class is in session.
Absolutely.
Well, we are super excited because today we have Mike Beyrodt, the inventor of the pull string fire starter, with us. And we're going to talk about a really awesome product that Wesley and I love. And in fact, we got a chance to play around with it this morning. But Mike, welcome to DisasterClass.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, awesome. We're happy to have you. And the pull start fire.
Pull start fire.
Love this thing.
Yeah.
Love this thing.
Us too.
It's mutual.
Mutual. So maybe we could just start getting to know you a little bit better. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background?
Yeah, sure. Mechanical statistical engineer, entrepreneur forever. Started with playing piano on kind of our city's boardwalk. That turned into like a speed painting, spray paint art kind of thing. And then that entrepreneur journey turned to pull start fire. So it's kind of been one entrepreneur endeavor that has led to the next. And we have just really been loving pull start fire.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. All right. So we've said it a couple times, pull start fire. Pull start fire. We'll say it a bunch, so our viewers and our listeners can just have that ingrained in their head because we love it and we know that they're going to love it too. But can you explain to us what is the pull start fire starter? What is it?
Sure. The pull start fire is the easiest, most effective fire starter on the market. And what we did was, I guess a little bit about it is it's a pull string fire starter that's got two strings. It's got a green anchor string and a red pull string. The user will take that green anchor string, loop it over a log to secure the product in place. Then they'll just throw their logs in a pile. They'll never need tinder, never need kindling. Doesn't matter the condition of the wood. Then whenever they're ready, they just pull the red string. And that's it. It'll burn for 30 to 40 minutes on its own and 2.5 times hotter than anything else we get tested. So it's hot enough and long enough that it doesn't matter, again, what the condition of the wood looks like, the weather conditions, or the user's experience. It's just a perfect fire every time.
Hey, everyone. Just want to pause real quick to thank Sawyer Products for sponsoring this episode of DisasterClass. Sawyer Products offer the best, most technologically advanced solutions for protection against sun, bugs, water, and injuries. Everything from water filtration systems to insect repellents. I personally have been using their water filters for years. So if you're at work, at home, or at play, make sure you check out Sawyer Products at Sawyer.com.
Wow.
That's awesome. So how did you, what was your inspiration? What led you to create this product?
Yeah. So 5 engineers get stuck in a negative 22-degree snowstorm out in West Virginia. Oh. And our antifreeze froze. We were really just stuck in this snowboarding trip. And we had all the cool fire starting stuff, but we just couldn't get a fire going. The logs that we could find were soaking wet and frozen solid. There was no tinder because there was, a foot of snow anywhere.
Yep. Trying
to dig and hope maybe you found something. And we just couldn't get a fire going. And one of us said we should be able to push a button and start a fire. That's ridiculous. It's 2015. Why can't we do this yet? And he started talking about an app. And that's just not how fire works yet. So we...
There's no app for that. Yeah.
No, there's no app for that yet. So we went home and started working on push, quickly went to pull, start fire. And have just kept iterating from our big list of... We made 2 lists, everything we like about starting a fire and everything we don't like about starting a fire. And as we worked from one iteration to the next, we kind of crossed off those things on the list and checked the things on the other.
Wow.
So that's kind of its origin story.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome. Sorry, I gotta interject because
Sure.
I'm just, I'm this guy. When you ask that question, like, that's such a weird. Where'd your inspiration come from?
Yeah.
Like, where does genius come from? Right? Like such a vague, open-ended question. And I was like, man, how is he gonna answer this? But the way you answered it, like, that is where genius comes from. Like, that was a beautiful experience, and the way you guys saw a need and literally just brought something to life to fill that need.
Yeah.
So kudos. That's awesome.
Thanks.
And I want to hear a little bit more.
Beautiful experience. I don't know that that's how I remember it.
Right.
I remember just being frozen.
Yeah. So that's why I want to hear a little bit more. Like, so you're stuck. Like, I want to hear more about that scenario that you were in. Like, how desperate was it? Like, what tools were you using? Could you give us a little more details?
Yeah, we had like the stormproof matches, but even like the fire gels and that kind of thing, nothing was going to get anything that we could find started. Right. We eventually trekked it to the place we were going to stay at, and we left the oven open and just ran the oven like all night to try and put. Yeah, it was a miserable time.
Wow.
And yeah, we never got any kind of fire going.
Never happened. Yep. That's situations. Right, we talk about that all the time, being prepared, right?
Yeah.
Like, for a disaster, for any type of survival situation. So it was nice that they were able to find a hotel to check in that had an oven, right? Like, that's awesome. But for our
it was
viewers
just this little
listeners,
like cabin in the woods.
Just a cabin.
Yeah,
not a hotel, cabin in the wood. Yeah, see, so like you found a shelter situation and it had power and you're able to do that. That's awesome. But yeah. So like a lot of where our heads are at for the application for this is if we can bring your pull start fire with us, right? We can always make sure we have that source of heat.
Yeah.
You know, the very first one we sold, we had like the little $5 taped on our playhouse that we started in most people start in a garage. We started in my little sister's playhouse.
Nice.
Like 4 foot by 6 foot.
Awesome.
We worked out of there for about a year and a half. And the first product that we sold to a couple that goes hiking all the time. And I was so excited to hear about how it went. So I followed up with him the next week. I said, "Oh my gosh, how did you guys use it? Did you love it?" He was like, "Oh, we didn't use it." And I was like, "What do you mean you didn't use it?" And he goes, "Well, we didn't use it on our hike, but we hiked further than we've ever hiked before because we knew that if we got stuck, we had the ability to start a fire. And then when we got home, we had a fire in the backyard. And my girlfriend, who never starts the fire, she started it in like 5 minutes. We had a roaring fire. So what started as, "What do you mean you didn't use it?" turned into like one of our favorite reviews.
That's great. Yeah,
Nice.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Yep, that's cool.
So, I mean, we were going to ask the question, what issues have you seen with other fire starting techniques and tools? But I think your just experience kind of
they just didn't work.
Just kind of highlights
in
what
Sub-Zero.
that is. Yeah. And
Well, no, even
snow.
even in the normal tradition of starting a fire we hear a lot of families that have even the backyard bonfire pit, and they're like, "I don't like using it. It's too much of a hassle."
Yep.
And so what we did in this was the normal fire starting is your flame source, your flint tinder, your flint, spark rod, matches, lighters. You got your flame source, your tinder, your kindling, and your logs. And most products on the market do a good job of being one of those 4 things, but you still have to have all the other things in good conditions, good weather conditions, and the knowledge of how to pass the fire from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So you can have a great blast match or other things, but if you don't have dry tinder or dry kindling or dry logs, and you don't have the knowledge of how to make all those things work, and it's not raining or other conditions. So what we did was we made sure they'll never need a flame source, never need tinder, never need kindling, and we don't care what the conditions of the logs are in. You can just take an armful and dump them, and so we tried all those kind of things. We tried to scale that down as much as you can. You can't just fall a tree right on it, and it's not gonna light the whole tree.
Right.
We're working on that. But
that's V2.
Yeah, or V130. No, that's really cool because in the prepper survival community, right? Those are things that we've talked about in my personal kit. I was fond of the blast match. And then I would use wet fire because I like that brand. It's like that petroleum based waxy product that you can shave off and it can start fire in standing water. So that was kind of, the tinder and then your kindling. So you're right though. This replaces all of that into one compact solution that is just absolutely fantastic. And we're going to be showing.
That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah, and listen, we've tested it. We played around with it this morning. Just wow.
Yeah, we'll post a link where you can watch the full video of Wesley and I's experience of trying this out, because we were super impressed.
Yep.
With how easy it was.
Fantastic.
And like you said, right? Especially when we think about a disaster setting, right, and just trying to start a fire to stay warm, you're not going to be working with ideal conditions most of the time. Even those other techniques of starting a fire, even under ideal conditions, it takes practice, knowledge, and all these kind of skills to be able to get a fire going. This takes the guesswork out of it. It's just
literally when you guys watch snippets, and we will be posting snippets of it, with this video, and with this podcast. Literally just about anybody can do it. Like it doesn't take any know-how. It doesn't take any expertise. It literally cannot be any easier. You just yank the cord and boom, like
for sure.
In fuego. Yeah,
we like to say we took the chore out of starting a fire and turned it into like a magic-like experience.
It's great.
Yeah.
Because
when I first pulled that string, I was like,
we had no idea what was going to happen. We're like,
I was like, okay.
step away.
Like,
back away, because this thing is going. Yeah, impressive. Absolutely impressive.
Yeah.
Great product.
So obviously we, from, our focus is more just the everyday person who doesn't really have these skills. And we see the value of the product just because it's super easy to use. Have you, you gave us some feedback, but have you any other feedback, any stories as far as like, especially like in maybe a kind of a more of a survival setting? I mean, it's fun for just like camping, just recreation, but have you had any stories regarding like from a survival standpoint?
Sure. We had one guy whose job it was to go look for lost hikers. And he called us almost in tears. And he's like, that this product hadn't been invented sooner. And he just he asked if we could send him flyers that he could just go put on like street poles by the hiking trails that said like, you need a pull start fire. You need a pull start fire.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want people hiking where I have to go find them if they don't have this product, because over his 30-year career of doing this, he's had to find so many people that he could come up on the scene and he could see that they were trying to get a fire going and they couldn't, or just a really emotional stuff of what he's seen and wished he hadn't. So I'm sure he would love to or could tell you much more about it, but
so cool.
That's probably the best we've got from that side of it, is just being a big advocate for taking this, even if you're going day hiking or overnight hiking.
Correct.
Just because you never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah. And so for you, like Wesley and I, our background, we're first responders. And so that's the whole reason why we started our company. And it's just, we've seen a lot of things, and it's like trying to help the everyday person to be more prepared and take action to be able to help themselves. And so one of the things we're doing, like we have, go bags and disaster kits that we make. Yeah. And one of the things that we're doing is actually working with urban search and rescue teams to actually design a pack for them. And this will be a great addition to having that. So we're going to talk offline about
we've got
some ways
our
we can
wheels
collaborate.
are spinning.
But we were super impressed with how easy and how well this product worked, because I mean, everyone will see the YouTube. We'll post a link to the video, but we had so much rain over the past few days, like torrential. Everything is just completely soaked, and
awesome.
We set this up, and because we like to try this. We're geeks for this stuff, so we're like, let's just see how this thing works, and so
see if it's any good. They make a lot of claims. Let's see.
Because we're always super skeptical, but we tied it up. We set up with the logs. I mean, these logs were soaked; they were drenched. And we had a nice hot fire going.
We had a sizzle
in minutes.
It's funny when I was trying to convince my wife, like, this is something we should really pursue. And there is the talk of like, do I quit the stable job and pursue this full time? And it was a tropical storm. And I was explaining how if the fire burns from the inside out, it'd be protected from the wind and the rain. And she's like, well, look, it's a tropical storm. Let's go try it. If you can start a fire in the tropical storm, we can have this discussion. And so there's a video somewhere out there of her. She's like, we're out here testing pull start fire in a tropical storm. And we had a fire. We got a fire going. And kind of the rest is history.
So cool.
That's awesome.
So cool.
Very cool. So where can people go to stay in touch with you guys? Website, social media accounts. Where can people go to stay in touch?
Yeah, Pull Start Fire pretty much anywhere, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. Just at Pull Start Fire or the website pullstartfire.com or Amazon.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Appreciate it. I don't know. Did you have anything else, Wesley?
I just love your product.
Yeah. I mean,
thank you so much.
We're sold.
And you guys are awesome too. I love what you guys do.
Yeah, this is not a paid sponsorship by any
No.
means, but if you want to talk about that, we can talk about that.
We'll talk about sponsorship later. But no, but really, so for me, it's always two things when it comes to a company. I want to know about the product. I want to know about the people.
Yeah.
We thoroughly tested the product in advance, so I knew that was going to be dynamite. We hadn't met you yet, Mike. So now I can say very confidently that both the people and the product at Pull Start Fire, top notch.
Yeah.
We appreciate what
we
you guys
appreciate
are doing.
that.
Yeah, this has been a really enriching experience for us to work with the product and to meet you, to hear your backstory, to hear where it came from, how genuine it was. It was just, guys, there's a problem here. We have to spend some time and figure out how to fix it. And you did in a magnificent way. And I love the fact that you keep on with your iterations. You're not done. And I love that, right? So keep up the good work. We're so happy to have met you, have been introduced to your product. We're very, very happy to introduce our viewers and our individuals to it because huge. I'm an advocate for Pull Start Fire.
I should probably just like I haven't told this story on the podcast yet, but
this is always a scary
thinking
part
of like this probably could have saved me. So one of my friends talked me into going like winter backpacking. He had done it once. He's like, it was in the snow. He's like, it was super beautiful. And yeah, I'm not going to blow up his spot on the podcast, but anyway, so I went and I got the gear. I got a 0 degree sleeping bag. I think I was like REI. They had two. They were on sale. There was the 0 degree and the negative 22. And he's like, oh, it's not going to get that cold. You'll be fine with the 0. You already see where this is going.
Yeah. Mistakes were made
very early. But I thought we were set. We know we had everything. Yeah. We go up to the mountain. And it was only supposed to be like in the mid 30s. Like it was doable. That was what the original forecast was. We got up there and the temperature dropped. First of all, we got a later start. It's a long story. Anyway, temperature drop ended up being negative 8 degrees that it dropped. Nope. And so we were just like, nope, freezing. And it was like maybe a 2-hour hike from the car. And so it's dark, it's like, and I already told him, like, listen, if this turns into us having to spoon to survive, we are no longer friends.
Right. That's the line that I'm not crossing. Okay.
Luckily, it didn't come to that. But, man, I was, like, in my sleeping bag. And when I woke up in the morning, there was literally snow inside my sleeping bag, inside my tent from the condensation of my breath. Just breathing, and it turned into snow. Yep. So, luckily, we survived. But this would have been – we tried to get a fire going, and it was impossible. Yeah. This probably would have saved me then. Right. So I haven't done winter camping yet.
But now you can.
Probably not going to, but if I do, I'm bringing this.
Yeah, Pull Start Fire.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's an awesome story.
Yeah. Try not to talk about it too much.
You're a knucklehead.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really enjoy your product, really enjoy your story, and we really appreciate you coming on. Hey,
thanks so much. Anytime, and let me know what we can talk about offline as well.
Oh, we will.
Sounds good. We'll be in touch.
Awesome.
All right, everyone. So that was Pull Start Fire. We're going to put a link in the description on where you can pick some of this stuff up because it is awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully soon it'll be available on our website.
Yes.
Let's hope.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to DisasterClass Podcast. As always, there is homework.
Why do I have to be the one who always gives the homework?
I mean, I give the homework if you want.
Nobody likes the teacher that gives homework.
So have people not been putting in their homework because you've been giving it? Like, are they more likely to do it if I give it?
I don't know.
So make sure you like and subscribe. Send us a message. Let us know if you have a preparedness tip, you have a story you want to share. Send us a message at disasterclass@instinctready.com or visit us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all that. And as always, we'll put you in running to get featured on the show and win some cool stuff.
Yeah. And if
How was that, Wesley?
That was pretty good. That's pretty good. No, you nailed it. That was fantastic. But we also want to remind everyone that if you have any stories like the ones you heard today, cold hiking trips,
and
the like. So if you have any experiences like that you want to share, please, as we love to hear from Jason today, we'd love to hear your stories as well. Please send them in.
Well, I might cut that out. We'll see, but
I probably would if I were you.
Not one of my prouder moments.
No.
But we've all been there. We learn from our mistakes. So if you've had some mistakes, let's hear some of your stories, Wesley. We're gonna.
Oh no, I'm a vault. You're not getting any of that. Absolutely not.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Disaster Class Podcast. As always, stay educated,
stay prepared,
stay equipped. We'll see you next time. Disaster Class is part of the Readiness Lab, the home for podcasts, webinars, and training in the field of emergency and disaster services.